Oh
and
my
we can
God,
talk
get the
about
hell out of here,
we can
dude.
talk about Rodgers
Get the hell
having
out of here.
Okay, what is the need to bring up the Yankees?
It's just stuff to bring up because
Are you kidding me? Come on, dude! This came out of nowhere!
not. Clemson is a top team. Don't start with that. Clemson's a top team, no doubt, 100%.
Unless it's on Saturday, then they might move down.
Welcome back to episode number 58 of Go Chat. Thank you guys for the continuous support on all of our episodes. If you're new here and not subscribed, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. So please keep up the support. We appreciate every single one of you guys. But anyways, let's hop right into our first segment, Go of the Number. And so we got 58 coming up for this one. Connor, who do you got?
So I researched this a little bit. I thought about a former relief pitcher in the MLB, but then I looked at his numbers and I really didn't think they were that great compared to the other options. So I'm going to go with former Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker Jack Lambert. He played 11 years in the NFL. He was a 9-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro. He won 4 Super Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1974, Defensive Player of the Year in 1976. He had 28 career interceptions, 9 sacks, and 17 fumble recoveries, as well as 1 forced fumble. He was definitely a force on that Pittsburgh Steelers defense. This is probably the 5th or 6th linebacker that I've gone now within these 50s. I am a big linebacker supporter. The number 50s and 60s, you might see a little more there in the 60s. You might be getting some linemen there. But for the time being, I'm going to go Jack Lambert here at number 58.
That's a great choice. Tommy, who do you got?
Well, Connor brought him up a little bit. He said that he was thinking about going with a relief pitcher, and I am going to go with that relief pitcher. It's Jonathan Papelbon. He wasn't my favorite when he was playing. You know, he was with the Red Sox. I can remember many games where he did well against the Yankees, but I am going to go with him here. I thought that his numbers, you said they weren't great, Connor, and, you know, they could have been better, but I thought they were still really respectable. 368 career saves. That is 9th on the all-time saves list for Major League Baseball, so that's pretty impressive. He's in the top 10, a 2.44 career ERA, which is pretty dominant, and he's a 6-time All-Star, and he's a 2007 World Series champion with the Red Sox, and, you know, he put together a pretty good career. It could have been a little better, but it was still really solid, so for me, Jonathan Papelbon is my go to number 58.
That's another great choice, Tommy. Matt, who you going with?
I gotta agree with Connor, who the guy who loves the linebackers. I gotta agree with Connor. Jack Lambert, his resume is incredible. I mean, I didn't even know his resume was this good. I didn't know a lot about him, but once I saw it, he was a defensive maniac for that Steelers defensive line. A very dominant Steelers team when we talk about him. Like Connor said, 4 Super Bowls. So I think I might foreshadow a little, but Steelers might be coming up a few episodes. Next episode, I'm gonna foreshadow, but the Steelers defense, they have incredible Hall of Famers, and this is one really good Hall of Famer. He's got to be the GOAT, number 58.
Yeah, you know what, Jonathan Papelbon and especially Jack Lambert, they both are so accomplished. I mean, like before, you know, looking into the going number for this, I barely even knew who Jack Lambert was, but looking at his accomplishments now, he definitely is one of the GOATs of the number 58. But just for the sake, you know, of argument, you guys going with Jack Lambert, I'm gonna go with Derek Thomas. Derek Thomas was another linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, played 11 years and 9-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year, part of the Hall of Fame 1990s team. He was also a Walter Payton Man of the Year. So when we talk about doing stuff off the field, he does not cut it short there. But I specifically bring him up because his career was unfortunately cut short. It was cut short in a car accident in 2000, and he was traveling to the St. Louis airport for a game to watch the St. Louis Rams game and a different team play for the NFC Championship, and he got into a car accident and he was unable to hold on and died a month later. So the Chiefs retired his number. So I just want to give a big shout out to him, and he's my goal number 58.
Yeah, I mean, we don't love to hear stories like that. Obviously, it's no good story when we hear of a player cutting a career short or obviously passing away from a tragedy like that. But Walter Payton Man of the Year, I mean, he definitely gave a lot of time off the field, and just for you to come on here and recognize him, Mike, that definitely takes a lot. We appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. He was definitely a big staple in the NFL, even though he didn't necessarily win any major individual accomplishments, like defensive player of the year or something like that. But don't get it wrong. He made a huge impact on the field. He's one of the only players in the NFL with a 20 sack season, and his career is nothing short of amazing.
There we go. I think that's going to wrap up a great go to the number segment. We have had 3 different players now. Matt and I definitely did agree on Jack Lambert. We had Jonathan Papelbon and then Derek Thomas, his name was. So,
Yep.
I mean, definitely some differentiation there. That's going to wrap up. Go to the number 58. We'll be back next.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We are back, and what we're going to talk about today is near and dear to Connor's heart. It's the New York Jets. They just fired defensive coordinator Gregg Williams instead of firing Adam Gase. Personally, probably a scapegoat for Adam, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts, especially after that Raiders-Jets game, the last play, the Hail Mary, the defensive call there. I'm going to throw it to Mike first. I'll let Connor sit and listen to Mike first.
Okay. We already talked this a little bit beforehand, before the show, but I'll give my stance on it now. First of all, I just want to make this clear. I don't think that Gregg Williams should have been fired. I think he's been doing a pretty good job all year with the Jets. He did a good job with the Browns. I think he's a good coach. But that last play call, when you blitz against the Raiders, when they have 15 seconds left in the game, no timeouts left, they need 46 yards for a touchdown to win. They can't win it on a field goal. They need a touchdown. Why are you blitzing 7 people and only leaving 4 in coverage, especially when you have a speedster like Henry Ruggs, who ran a 4.27 in the 40 dash at the combine? So if you leave him one-on-one with a defender and you just let him run straight, that's what he does best. And you gave your secondary no help, and you sent the house for no reason whatsoever. Yeah, if you get the sack, the game's over. Sure, right? But if they throw the ball and they catch it in bounds and they go down in bounds, the game is also over there, right? And if you incomplete the pass, they have another Hail Mary. So, like, I get, like, why he did it. He wanted a sack. But that's just dumb. Just play 3 deep, play man coverage, and rush 3 or 4 guys. Just let your guys get home. The chances of them completing that pass is so slim if you drop 7 to 8 people into coverage. But they didn't do that. They let their poor secondary, an undrafted corner, rookie corner, cover Henry Ruggs, and they paid for it.
Connor, what are your thoughts?
So obviously, Gregg Williams doesn't deserve to be fired. He's done a very good job with the defense that he's been given this year. I mean, they traded Jamal Adams. They traded Avery Williamson halfway through the year. C.J. Mosley opted out. He's been with an entire backup of linebacker crew. Bradley McDougald went out week 2, who they got in the Jamal Adams trade. They have cut Pierre Desir halfway through the season. The defense has completely changed from last year to this year. It's a completely different defense that he's working with. Quinnen Williams is playing absolutely outstanding. He's going to be a Pro Bowler this year. And they have 2 other linemen. I don't even want to pronounce his name because I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but it's like Fadu Kasi is a D tackle who's also been playing really well. And oh my gosh, what's his name? Henry Anderson has been playing decent. They've had really good linemen who have been playing well, and Gregg Williams has done a good job. He should not be fired at all. And the fact that apparently the decision came down to Adam Gase to make the firing is absolute blasphemy, because he's just saving his butt for 4 more games in the season when they're not going to have a chance of winning the games against the Rams, the Seahawks, the Browns, or the Patriots. It's just not possible. And he's saving himself 4 more games of coaching in the NFL before he's done. As far as the play call, obviously I didn't like it. The Jets lost the game because of it. I didn't like the play call. But then you go back and you watch their first down play, and Aguilar was streaked down the middle and Henry Ruggs was streaked down the middle, and Aguilar ran past Marcus May and his undrafted cornerback and was wide open in the end zone. He catches that ball. We're not even talking about the Henry Ruggs play or the blitz. We're talking about how Aguilar caught the touchdown in the end zone and he beat the zone play. So Gregg Williams, being a defensive mind that he is, and what we've seen him do throughout his entire career is dial up blitzes. That's what Gregg Williams has always been known for, whether it's been with New Orleans or with Cleveland or whoever, is he's a blitz guy. We saw it in Cleveland 2 years ago when they were in a game against Denver, and Denver had 40 yards to go until they had to get a touchdown, and they needed a touchdown to win the game, and he dialed up a blitz, and their linebacker got home and sacked their quarterback, and the game was over. Now, obviously, that's not what happened in the case on Sunday, but I don't hate it. You have Quinnen Williams and Fadu Kasi, who are playing incredibly well. You have Neville Hewitt and Harvey Lange, who are among the leading tacklers for linebackers in the NFL, and they're both backups. Harvey Lange was in a car accident 2 years ago, didn't know he was ever going to be on the field again, and now he's leading the leading tacklers for the week in the NFL for linebackers. He had 12 tackles yesterday. I'm going to send him there. I'm going to send players to go get the quarterback. We've had pressure on Derek Carr all day. We send Quinnen Williams. We send our other lineman. We send Lange, who's super fast as a linebacker, and we get Derek Carr down. The play call wasn't horrible. Obviously, Derek Carr stood up. Matthias Farley, I think, was standing in the middle of the field when Derek Carr stood up, and he backed up a step instead of coming forward. That's on Farley. But the play call, I don't hate. I like the blitz. Now, Matt mentioned earlier in our group chat that if we were playing Madden, what would I do? Would I send engage 8 or would I drop into cover 3? Obviously, in a video game, I'm dropping into cover 3. But this isn't
same concept. What are you talking about? It's the same concept. Are you?
But it's not.
Guys back there.
But it's not. It's not the same concept because in a video game, you're pressing a button on a controller, and Derek Carr still has to throw an accurate pass when he has 8 people in his face. It's a completely different concept.
Same concept. I don't care about how I said it in the video game. I'm just asking about your play call. Why are we even talking about video games? Anyway, I was talking about your play call. What would you rather do? What's the smarter thing? And what he did on Sunday is just dumb. I'm sorry. Like, if you get it, then yeah, it looks good. But if you don't get it, like what happened, it looks awful. And then when you're doing a man 3 deep or whatever, the odds of them catching that ball is really slim, especially if you have a ton of guys just packed in that end zone. Sure, you have DeAndre Hopkins who just does DeAndre Hopkins things, but that's a slim chance. And if that happens, that's on your defensive backs. That's not on you, Greg. That's not on Gregg. That's on your defensive backs for not doing the one job that they were told to, and that's keep the ball out of the Raiders' hands. And when you have the Raiders wide receivers like Aguilar, who is fairly fast, you have Henry Ruggs, who is incredibly fast, probably one of the fastest players right now in the league. And you have, I don't know, was Darren Waller running? Because Darren Waller had an incredible game. He probably could have caught something like that. It's the difference between how great, I get the Jets defense was playing great, and they were, Quinnen Williams and those other guys, how great they're playing, but that's just a huge risk that you're taking. And personally, myself, I would never take that risk, because it's going to be on you for taking that risk, or it's going to be on your defensive backs for letting a Hail Mary go when you're doing cover, when you're just sending everyone back to the end zone.
I think the biggest thing that people aren't realizing, though, is that the play before, when they ran that cover 3 deep, Aguilar was wide open in the end zone, and Derek Carr missed the throw. They ran it.
Okay, but then
the Jets ran exactly what. No.
That's on your defensive backs. It's not on Gregg.
Correct. So correct. It is on the defensive backs. So now Gregg is trying to make an adjustment as a defensive coordinator to change what's going to happen. He's going to take a little bit more pressure and put that on the defensive backs, but he's going to try to get more pressure on Derek Carr and force a bad throw. He made bad throws before. He threw an interception to Arthur Millette in the first quarter. He didn't have a crazy good game. He had a good game. Darren Waller had a very good game, but outside of Darren Waller, there wasn't a lot of very good receptions. The one play to Henry Ruggs to end the game was Henry Ruggs, I think, 3rd catch in the entire game, maybe even his 2nd. Yes, it's definitely yes. It's definitely a risky call, but that's what Gregg Williams has always been for, was risky calls. And when you're 0-11 in the National Football League,
You want to win, and how are you going to
won a game? You're going to take a risk to win a game. I'm sorry, I don't agree with the call. When Henry Ruggs caught the touchdown pass, I was pissed off. But you think about it more, and you go back and you watch the tape, and you see that they blew past your zone all freaking day, and that their passing attack was unstoppable, and Darren Waller had 200 freaking yards on 17 targets. Like, at what point do you try to dial up more pressure and put more pressure onto your defensive line's hands and take it off your defensive backs because they haven't done their job all freaking game?
Okay, before any of us respond, Tommy, what's your take on this situation? You think it was a good call by Gregg, or do you think the blitz wasn't a good idea?
Yeah, personally, I'd have to agree that it wasn't a great call, but at the same time, to fire him over that, I don't know. I'm someone that doesn't like necessarily agree with firing somebody mid-season unless there's a real problem. I mean, I don't know. You only have a few games left, and I think you said perfectly, Mike. Like, Adam Gase is using him as like a scapegoat because he knows that he's probably going to get fired. At least, the team hasn't played well, and he probably deserves to be fired. I know that you all agree with that. But I don't know. I mean, personally, I wouldn't fire him over that, but I do agree it wasn't a great call, and it's tough to lose a game like that. But at the same time, yes, they lost the game, but I mean, it's not like this was a game to determine whether the Jets were going to get in the postseason or not. They're 0-12 right now. So, there's a lot of things that go into it, I think. I mean, you can't put all the blame on Williams there. That's for sure. I mean, the team has struggled, and I don't know. It's a difficult situation for the Jets, but, hopefully they'll get sorted out, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Tommy, you made a bunch of great points there, but I want to go back to Connor's point for a second. Connor, you were saying that, this is Gregg Williams' identity, he just blitz the house, right? Just because it's Gregg Williams' identity does not justify calling a blitz in that context, right? It's not an excuse for Gregg Williams to call a blitz there. And I understand that Aguilar beat the coverage the play before, but that was a different coverage, right? They still had 25 seconds left on the clock. They could have thrown a 20-yard pass down the middle of the field, got down there, clocked it, still have time for another chance in the end zone. So they weren't sagging off as much as they would in that play, right? If they threw the ball in the middle of the field there, the clock would have ran out and they wouldn't have had enough time to spike the ball. So if you push everyone back to the end zone and the Raiders happen to catch that ball, so be it, right? And you're talking about how great Quinnen Williams is playing, right? He's 100% a Pro Bowler this year. He's been wreaking havoc on offensive lines all over this league, right? He doesn't need extra help. Your secondary needs extra help. Darren Waller had 200 yards on the day. Give him some extra help. You know what I mean? You don't need to rush extra guys. Put another guy in Waller. Put another guy in Ruggs. Put another guy in Aguilar. And just rush 3 or 4. The call for Gregg Williams to blitz was absolutely ludicrous, especially considering how strong their defensive line is and how weak their secondary is. It's inexcusable. He definitely should not have been fired, but that was one of the worst defensive play calls I've seen in my whole lifetime.
Look, I am not sitting here arguing for the call. I'm not saying that call was the perfect call and yada, yada, yada. I'm saying it was absolutely a bad call, and the defense, Rex Ryan said it this morning, is the defense didn't even know how to play cover zero. They looked lost out there. But, I mean, I said it. Matthias Farley was just standing in the middle of the field, and when Derek Carr stood up, he took a step back rather than pursuing and trying to get into his face. They didn't know how to play it. So, obviously, it wasn't necessarily the correct call. But in Gregg Williams' head, and I agree with the fact that when you have 13 seconds left and they're beating your zone before, I would send pressure. And for Adam Gase to come out today and say that it was the wrong call and yada, 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 then why didn't Adam Gase burn a timeout? They had 2 timeouts still. burn your freaking timeout and talk with your defensive coordinator about why you don't think it's the right call. You're the head coach. If you want to keep a job in the NFL, those are the type of coaching decisions that you need to make. If you don't like the call, you call your freaking timeout and you say, no, I'm the head coach of this football team. We're going to run cover 3 and I'm going to get these guys a win. But instead, he doesn't take ownership. He doesn't take that head coaching mentality of this team. And because of that, now a darn good defensive coordinator is without a job. And it's all because of Adam Gase and what he has to say behind closed doors or what he says in front of the press conference or anything like that. That's the reason.
Yeah, I think we all can agree on the fact that if Adam Gase really wanted to switch that play call, he could have. Like you said, he had 2 timeouts left. I'm sure he's hearing what Gregg Williams is feeding to his defense. So I'm sure he had the capability of doing that. And like me and Matt said, he's just scapegoating Gregg Williams, who really has done a really good job with the pieces he's been given in New York this year. And someone's going to hire him. Some team this offseason is going to hire him. I kind of hope the Cowboys do hire him, because I'd love to see the pressure dialed up in Dallas.
Look, here's the thing, is I think if this was a battle of 2 6-5 teams who are looking for a wild card spot in the AFC, this is a different conversation. I think it's the fact that the Jets, they laid back and they guarded the line. But I think because the Jets are so desperate for that win, these players want to win so bad, and these coaches want to give these players a win so bad, that Gregg Williams was trying to send something that the Raiders weren't expecting. He didn't want the Raiders to think, okay, they're going to drop back. We still have 13 seconds left. Henry Rugg is really fast and explosive off the line. If I send him on a quick out for 15 yards, we're still going to have 8 seconds left from the 30-yard line. He didn't want them to expect that an all-out 8-man blitz was coming. So in his mind, he thought that he had the perfect read. And obviously the defense just didn't fulfill what they had to do. I don't think it falls on Gregg Williams. Obviously, the call isn't great. The pressure didn't get there. He left his undrafted rookie cornerback one-on-one against a guy who can run a 4.2 40. It's not smart. But at the end of the day, if you're going to send 8 people, one of those people have to get on the quarterback. It's an 8 versus 5 situation. And the fact that they didn't, that's on the defensive line and the linebackers. I don't necessarily think all of that is on Gregg Williams.
I mean, I honestly think if they ran the 3-man deep, they would have a win on their record. Just the odds.
And I'm not saying they would.
The odds are so for them. Like, they would have like a 95% chance of winning at that point if they ran that play. So I don't know why you're trying to say that he's trying to spark up a win. A win would be doing the safe option.
But here's the thing, is I'm not saying that if they ran their cover 3 deep that they wouldn't have a win in their win column today. What I'm saying is
why don't you call that if you want to win? I don't understand why you're saying you put them out in surprise for them to win. I'm just debating your point that you just made.
It's because of the fact that Gregg Williams has always been a coach who thinks one step ahead of the offense. And with 15 seconds left on the clock, the Oakland Raiders, they have John Gruden as their head coach, who is a Hall of Fame head coach in this NFL. He's won Super Bowls, where he can run an offense and he knows what he's doing. Where if you see that cover 3 deep with 15 seconds left on the clock, they're going to run these out routes or these corners so that they have more time on the clock still closer to the touchdown. It's just what it is. So what Gregg Williams is trying to do is what he did in Cleveland 2 years ago and was successful. Yes, different defense. Cleveland's defense is much better than New York's. But he sent pressure in Cleveland and it got to the quarterback of the Broncos. He sent it yesterday with the Jets and it didn't get there. Is that entirely on Gregg Williams? Or is it on the defensive line and the linebackers for not getting to him? It's an 8-on-5 situation. Your numbers are in the Jets' favor there. Why don't they get to Derek Carr? Obviously, it sucks to leave Lamar Jackson out there one-on-one versus Henry Ruggs. But 8v5, the Jets win that battle. They should win that battle.
When you said Lamar Jackson, I thought of Lamar Jackson, the quarterback against Ruggs.
Yes, it's confusing, but Does anyone else have anything to say about this situation, or should we hop right into GOAT picks?
Head into GOAT picks. I think we've talked enough.
All right, let's get right into it.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We are back with the GOAT picks. We just had a great conversation about Gregg Williams and the Jets loss yesterday. But we're going into GOAT picks. Leaderboard is up right now. Connor, kudos to Connor. That Browns pick was amazing. That Browns pick was absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe my eyes when I was watching that. So Connor's still in first. I'm one behind him after the Rams win. Thank you guys for congratulating me, even though you guys didn't. Me and Tommy. Yeah, you guys made fun of me for going with Tommy. What? Tommy, you deserve an apology from both of them right now. And we're gonna sit here until it happens.
Well, I'm not
Are we
apologizing.
ready?
I'm not apologizing to the person in last place.
I am in last place, so that's all right. I don't need an apology. But hey, I'm going to get back there. I haven't been winning, but we're going to turn around here.
All right. Might as well. We just get into that after Tommy claims that he's going to win every week.
Well, I got to stay positive, man. I'm not going to say I'm going to lose, even though it's probably going to happen. But
you got a good point. All right. First game, ACC Big Ten Challenge. We got number 4 Michigan State versus number 18 Virginia. Connor, as always.
As always, because I'm always number 1.
Well,
but I'm going to go with Michigan State here. I just think they've played really good to start the year. Their biggest win definitely coming over the number 6 Duke in that State Farm Championship game, where Rocket Watts had 20 points on 7 of 16 shooting. This is definitely probably their second biggest test so far, obviously Virginia being ranked number 18. But I think Michigan State's just going to keep it going. They're number 4 team in the country for a reason. I think we could even potentially see them jump up higher with Gonzaga canceling their basketball activities for a couple weeks. Who knows what's going to happen with that scenario? But I think Michigan State's going to win this game.
Yeah, of course. Very, very unfortunate for Gonzaga. We had that game picked, them versus Baylor last episode. But I'm going to go with Michigan State. I'm going to agree with you here too. Virginia, they had the upset early. And to be frank, I don't think they have a huge star. I mean, we look at the other teams that Virginia's had. They've had Kyle Guy, big fan of his, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter. You know, they had those guys, Malcolm Brogdon before. I just don't see anything special about this team, even though they still have the same coach, who's amazing. So I'm rolling with Tom Izzo Spartans here. Mike?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys. I think the thing with Virginia is they just really haven't been dominant. They got upset early in the season and they just beat Kent State by 7. Nothing about that is impressive. Michigan just beat Duke, and they've had a close game with Detroit Mercy, but at the end of the day, they won. And I just think Michigan State has been more impressive throughout the whole season, so I'm going to roll with them.
Tommy, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I got to go with Michigan State. They've played pretty dominantly so far. You take a look at their past few games, they're winning by pretty good margins. They won the last one by 18 points. So I'm going to have to roll with them. I think that Virginia is a really good team, but just not as good as Michigan State, like you said, 4th ranked team in the country. So I'm going to go with the Spartans for this one.
All right, we all go Spartans. We're going to move into Thursday. We got a college football game at 7 o'clock. Pitt versus Georgia Tech, both ACC rivals here. Connor, as always.
I'm going to go with Pitt here. I think this game is ultimately going to come down to the quarterback play. And Kenny Pickett's just had a better season thus far. He hasn't thrown for a lot of touchdowns with only 12 through 10 games. But I think he could have a breakout game here against Georgia Tech, and I think he's going to win this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to agree with you. You know, we like to differentiate here. But, yeah, nothing tells me Georgia Tech's going to win this game, especially with Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison at receiver for Pittsburgh. Even though, you know, Pittsburgh fans call him Kenny Pick 6, I still think they're going to get this one done. Mike?
I agree. I'm going to go with Pitt here. Just the quarterback for Georgia Tech, Jeff Sims, has a 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio this season. He's thrown 11 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Nothing good with that. Kenny Pickett has played much better. Just overall as a team, Pittsburgh is better. You know, they came off massive loss to Clemson, but we know what Clemson does. They're one of the best teams in college football. So I'm gonna roll with Pitt here too.
Tommy, you're gonna finish this off and agree with us?
Yeah, I got to go with Pitt here. I mean, Georgia Tech, they've really struggled. Um, not too much to say about this one. I just think that Pitt's a little better overall. Well, I think a good bit better. They're 5-5, and Georgia Tech, they're 3-6, which, only 2 game difference. But I think that Pitt is a pretty, or they're much better than Georgia Tech. So I got to roll with them here.
Tommy says he's going to keep getting back into it, but he just keeps agreeing, man.
I know, but I can't I would go against you and then get the loss. So if I can't do that, then I'd keep moving down. So
That is
In
true.
his defense, I don't. These games are. It was tough to find some good games for go picks. Third game we got. We might as well stay with college here. We got another college basketball game. Number 24, San Diego State, who is on a 4-0 roll, and number 23, Arizona State. They're 3-1. Pretty pretty big game, to be honest. 23 versus 24. Maybe not those big name teams like Michigan State, Virginia, but still a great game. Connor, who do you have?
I'm going to go with Arizona State here. I mean, they've had some really good play from Josh Christopher. And when we think about big college basketball programs and we think about Villanova, Gonzaga, Duke, things like that, and I mean, their second game of the year was against Villanova. They only lost by 9. And I mean, Arizona State not really being known as this big college basketball team to lose by 9 to the number 3 team in the country. Obviously, a loss is a loss, but I'm going to go with Arizona State here.
That's a great pick. Unfortunately, I have to agree with you here. I was not going to go with San Diego State. Um, like you said, I just think that so far, even though San Diego State's undefeated, I think Arizona State's resume is a little better than San Diego State's. Obviously, playing those Pac-12 teams like Cal and Washington State, and of course the Villanova lost, but a very close game. So that's why I've got to go with Arizona State. Mike.
I'm going to disagree with you guys here. I'm going to go with San Diego State. And you're talking about basketball, reputation and legacy and all that stuff. San Diego State actually has a decent one. Yeah, Kawhi came out of that program. So I think San Diego is a little bit underrated in that sense. And they've played really well this season. Their first game of the year, they came out, destroyed UCLA. I'm not exactly sure what the score is, but UCLA just recently destroyed Cal, who Arizona State only beat by like 8 points, I think. So I just think SDSU is a better team overall, and I think they're going to come out here and win this game.
Yeah, when you were talking about that, I knew my head went right to Kawhi. Tommy, who do you have?
I don't know. I was thinking about San Diego State, but I'm gonna go
Do
with
it, Tommy.
No, I can't do it, Mike. I gotta go with Arizona State. I just think that they are the better team, and they're gonna get the win here on Sunday. Or
Tommy,
no, Thursday. I'm sorry.
He's
I'm
shaking
sorry,
his head.
Tommy.
Mike, I'm sorry. I don't know. I have to go with the safe pick here because I'm in last place. So
All right, last game we got Thursday Night Football, as we always have. It's the Rams versus Patriots. Rams 8-4 just beat the Arizona Cardinals. Patriots 6-6 had a dominant performance against the Los Angeles Chargers. So Connor, who are you going to go with?
I know I went against the Rams last week with the Cardinals pick. I'm going against the Rams again. I think New England is going to win this game on Thursday night. New England is in win mode. Bill Belichick is going to do everything he can to put the perfect team out there to try to find a wild card spot at this point in the AFC. But Cam Newton, I mean, he only threw for 69 total yards yesterday, but he had 54 on the ground and 2 touchdowns. And I mean, they didn't really have to do a lot through the air to play well against the Chargers. And I think New England's going to win this game.
And definitely an interesting pick. I'm going to go with the Rams. I don't want to put my money on New England, even though they've been dominant, of course, before this year. But the Rams, of course, I've said last time that defense is incredible. They really came out to play against the Cardinals. I think they're going to keep that going in this short week. So I'm going to roll the Rams. Mike?
Oh, this is a tough one. If Connor went with the Rams, I would have went with the Patriots because I honestly think it's a toss-up given. Can you let me finish? Right, I think it's a toss-up, but at the end of the day, I think the Rams are just too talented of a team overall. They're going to overcome Bill Belichick's coaching skills, and I think they're going to win this game.
Tommy?
Yeah, I have to go with the Rams here. It's not going to be the Patriots, Connor. Well, I don't want to say that because that's what we said about Cleveland, and then you saw what Baker Mayfield did on Sunday. So, yeah, I'm going with the Rams, but I don't know. I just think the Rams are a much better team than the Patriots. But I wouldn't be surprised if they came out and won just because Connor picked them. But we'll
You
see.
guys do this too often, and then this is how I get my leads, and then this is how I get a lead just too big for you guys to overcome, and then I'm a two-time goal.
All right, first off,
That is
you
true.
say this all the time, no matter you win or lose. You said this about Illinois, and then Baylor won, and you didn't even text us like good pick. We were like, hey, yo, Baylor won check, and you didn't even just crickets. You don't even like acknowledge that we had a right pick ever until
He's a sore loser. He's like Tom Brady.
you only text when your pick wins. But like when our pick wins, even though I congratulate you about the Browns pick and I said that was an amazing pick, the Rams won after, and Mike was like, congrats or whatever. It was just crickets with you.
All right, guys. I mean, sometimes I'm not just always attached to the phone. I mean, my fingers.
Oh my God. God forbid, when his Heat won, I told you guys, Jimmy Butler, he's coming out here. He's that man. Name on a bio. He's more than just a skills contest champion. He's that guy.
It's funny because like 5 minutes after he texted, "Are you gonna play Madden tonight?" All right, we got the rest. We got the rest of the episode coming up. Go to the week, of course. So we'll head right into that.
Welcome back to Go Chat. Now we are here with our Wednesday edition of Go of the Week. Matt did win last week with Tyreek Hill. I did finish in second with Sarah Fuller. But now we're going to move on to a new week. There could be a new winner this week. Let's try to get some wins on Matt, guys. I mean, Tommy and Mike, I'll even team up here if you want. Like, let's just get Matt off the board. Anyway, Matt, you're the winner from last week. I'll start with you.
I don't get why you're hating on me so much, but when you're in first, you're literally just gloating around. But anyway, I'll give you my pick. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's not like, I'm not saying he had like the best day against the Eagles. I mean, he had a good day. He only had 9 incompletions, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns. But I'm more focused on him getting his 400th career touchdown. He's actually the fastest quarterback to ever do that. In the list of 7 quarterbacks, Rodgers got that in 193 games. Behind him, Breeze in 205, Manning in 209, Brady in 212, Marino 227, Favre 228, and Rivers 231. So of course that's a big accomplishment for him. And we saw that Devontae Adams catch. They kind of crowned him. That was just amazing to see. And I'm also going to point out that Aaron Rodgers is now the first player in NFL history with 5 seasons of at least 35 passing touchdowns. Passed that yesterday. So he's just passing stuff, That's why he's my go of the week, just because he's doing these go things and just having an incredible year. He might not be the MVP. He might. Who knows? We'll have to see at the end of the year. But he's just having an absolutely incredible year at the age of 37, 38. He just turned that like last Wednesday.
All right, Tommy. Who are you bringing to the table to take down Matt?
Well, I have to go with somebody that you're not too happy with right now. I got to go with Henry Ruggs, who had that game-winning catch on Sunday against the Jets. He only had a couple of catches in the game, but he did have the big one to give the Raiders the win there, 31-28. Hate to do it, Connor, but that was a big catch and it got them the win to keep their playoff hopes alive. So, got to go with him.
Matt, what's up with you making the W's down there, man?
I mean if these picks are like Henry Ruggs down here, then I think I get a W. I mean, we'll have to see about who you guys pick.
Mike, who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Darren Waller.
Why did he have to breathe for that?
I was thinking about something else. Matt, I texted it to you
All right.
about it earlier. So I was thinking about going with him, but I decided not to. I'm going with Darren Waller, the guy who caught 13 balls, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns against the Jets. He's arguably a much bigger reason for the Raiders win than Henry Ruggs. And Ruggs had that one play. That's great and whatnot. But Darren Waller was just a maniac all day long. He was terrorizing the Jets. Connor knows Darren Waller pretty well and how much he tore the Jets apart. So I'm sure Connor can speak on my behalf. Go ahead.
He's not gonna speak on your behalf. Are you
Oh,
kidding
come
me?
on, Connor. You were talking about him before the episode. You're like, oh, dude, Darren Waller is so good, man.
If you want me to say on air what I was saying about Darren Waller before this episode can't go live.
Well, that should tell you all you need to know about how good Darren Waller is. Connor, who's your go of the week?
I got to go with, Baker Mayfield. You guys all doubted him. A lot of people doubted the Cleveland Browns this week just in general. I was the only one on Goat Chat to pick the Browns. Just give me the crown already. But no, in all seriousness, he had a great day. Probably one of his best days in the NFL. 334 yards, 4 touchdowns. Again, 2 of those touchdowns did come on play action, which is what I said during our GOAT picks last episode is what Tennessee struggled with the most. The 75-yard touchdown bomb to Donovan Peoples-Jones was just, amazing. We saw Jarvis Landry had another great day, as I predicted. But anyway, Baker Mayfield is definitely the one to talk about here. He had a great day. Leads the Cleveland to 9-3, their first winning season in a long time. I can't even pull the number out. I don't have it on hand, but it's been a long time since we've seen Cleveland have a winning number. And
He's not prepared yet.
it was said this morning, if there's good quarterback play in Cleveland, they're a tough team. If there is play like this from Baker Mayfield in Cleveland, they could be a Super Bowl team with what they have. So, if Baker Mayfield can play like this, they've got something moving there. But Baker Mayfield is undoubtedly the GOAT of the week.
Sorry, you were cracking me up. You said Browns and Super Bowl in the same sentence. Sorry, it was just a little funny over here.
To be honest, if Baker continues to play like this, it's like not even a joke. If we're being like honest.
Okay, but that's a big if.
Yeah, obviously it's a big if. He played the best game of his career.
By far.
It's whatever.
Connor made him out to be like a huge superstar in the beginning. He was like, "Oh, you guys doubted Baker Mayfield." Well, he had one game. That's a little recency bias you got over here, but we'll have to see. If you think Baker's a stud, Connor, then just say it out loud.
I am not going to say that Baker Mayfield is a stud.
His commercials are pretty good.
I agree. I do enjoy the progressive commercials.
Deep frying that turkey? Yeah, that one's still out.
I love the book club one. In like the stand.
The book club one is solid. What about the one with him and Saquon Barkley for Hulu?
Oh my god,
yeah.
deep fake Saquon.
that was so bad, dude. If I see like another Hulu as live sports, I might blow my brains out, honestly.
Okay, well, that's how we're going to end Go Chat number episode 58. It's been a great one here with the guys. Definitely, we talked about some great topics. Obviously, someone's pretty close to me. Hopefully, the Jets can get it figured out. But the GOAT of the week poll is going to be up again on Thursday. And then throughout the week, our GOAT picks are going to be up on our story to just click the team that you think. Maybe we'll agree, maybe we'll disagree. Until then, we will see you guys again on Saturday.